Have you ever wondered how a creature that can't even speak can sense death before doctors can diagnose it? How a simple sniff can expose what the most advanced machines fail to see? It sounds impossible, but the nose of a dog might just be the most powerful medical tool on Earth. They call them the medical noses. Not scientists, not doctors, but living, breathing biodetectors who can smell disease in the faintest whispers of human scent. In laboratories across the world, a quiet revolution is unfolding. Not in high-tech scanners or quantum computers, but in kennels, where dogs are being trained to identify the smell of one of humanity's deadliest enemies, cancer. Researchers discovered something extraordinary. Cancer cells release volatile organic compounds, tiny molecules that leak through your breath, your sweat, even your urine. Machines struggle to detect them, but dogs, they can pick them out in parts per trillion. In one study, a Labrador named Daisy smelled out breast cancer with 93% accuracy just by sniffing samples of breath. In another, German shepherds correctly identified prostate cancer from urine samples, even when sophisticated lab equipment failed. No radiation, no blood tests, just a nose and a bond between species that goes beyond science. What's happening here is more than instinct. Inside a dog's snout lie more than 300 million olfactory receptors, compared to our humble 5 million. Their brain devotes 40 times more space to analyzing scent. To them, smell isn't a sense. It's a language, a story of your biology, a signature of your health or your sickness. Imagine this, a hospital of the future, not filled with cold machines and sterile light, but therapy dogs walking quietly through the halls, sniffing the air, catching disease before it ever shows on a scan. Early detection through empathy. Medicine with a heartbeat. These dogs don't just detect illness, they detect hope. Because if they can smell cancer, they might one day smell Parkinson's, diabetes, even viral infections. Giving humanity time. The one thing we can never buy back. The science is still young, but every wag of a tail in those research labs is rewriting what we know about detection, diagnosis, and life itself. So the next time your dog sniffs you a little longer, don't just smile and pat its head. Remember, you might be in the presence of nature's most gifted doctor, because in the quiet world of scent, where molecules speak and instincts listen, dogs are not just man's best friend. They are the guardians of our health and the silent heroes of modern medicine. They say a dog can smell fear, but what if it could smell danger inside your body before you faint, before you fall, before your heart even realizes something is wrong? This is the story of dogs that can smell low blood sugar and save lives. It sounds like magic, but it's pure biology, sharpened by evolution. When your blood sugar drops, your body releases chemical signals, tiny scent molecules that change the way your sweat and breath smell. Humans can't notice them, but a dog can. With a nose that's 1,000,000 times more sensitive than ours, it can pick up the faintest trace of metabolic change, long before a glucose monitor flashes a warning. These are not ordinary dogs. They are diabetic alert dogs, trained for months to recognize the scent of hypoglycemia, the invisible fall in blood sugar that can cause confusion, seizures, even coma. In training, they sniff samples from diabetic patients collected during low sugar episodes. They learn that unique smell, and they never forget it. Later, when their human sugar drops in real life, they react instantly. Some nudge, some bark, some press an alert button with their paw to call for help. All of them become a lifeline between life and death. There's a woman in Texas whose golden retriever woke her at 2 a.m., whining and pawing at her arm. Her glucose level was falling fast, dangerously low. If the dog hadn't acted, she might never have woken up. Stories like hers are becoming more common, not miracles, but partnerships between human science and animal intuition. Doctors call it early biochemical detection, but for the people who live it, it's love in its purest form, a love that sniffs out danger before the machines do. A love that watches over you while you sleep. Scientists are still decoding exactly what these dogs smell, the molecular fingerprints of hypoglycemia that even advanced devices struggle to capture. But one thing is clear, their accuracy rivals and sometimes surpasses technology itself. Imagine a future where every diabetic has a loyal guardian at their side, a heartbeat that can sense imbalance before disaster, where medicine wears fur and safety comes with a wagging tail. Because for some people, the sweetest sound in the world isn't a machine's beep. It's the gentle nudge of a dog's nose saying, "I've got you." And in that moment, science meets soul and survival smells, just like love. What if the world's most accurate COVID test didn't come from a lab, but from a leash? What if the nose of a dog could sense a virus before even the swab could find it? It sounds unbelievable, but it's real. During the height of the pandemic, when fear filled airports and hospitals, scientists turned to an unexpected ally, the one species that's been saving us for thousands of years. Dogs, trained detection dogs, the same heroes once used to find explosives and survivors, were taught a new kind of mission, to sniff out disease. And what they discovered shocked the scientific world. COVID-19, like many viruses, changes the chemistry of your body. Those changes leak through your skin, sweat, and breath as invisible scent molecules. A unique viral fingerprint no human can detect. But dogs can, and they can do it faster, and often more accurately than a PCR test. At Helsinki Airport, travelers were asked to wipe their necks with a small cloth. The cloths were then placed before a team of trained dogs. The results? Over 90% accuracy, within seconds. No needles, no machines. Just pure instinct, sharpened by science. In hospitals, dogs sniff surgical masks and sweat samples from patients, distinguishing between infected and healthy people even before symptoms appeared. They could sense a positive case days ahead of a test result. A nose detecting what our finest technology missed. How do they do it? Inside a dog's nose lies a biological masterpiece. 300 million scent receptors connected to a brain wired to interpret chemical chaos. To them, infection has a smell. Each virus leaves its own molecular shadow, a silent signature of illness floating in the air. And it's not just COVID. Dogs have shown promise detecting influenza, malaria, even bacterial infections, through nothing more than scent, a living biosensor powered by trust and training. Imagine a future airport where you walk past a dog and it quietly saves hundreds of lives just by breathing the same air as you. Or a hospital ward where canine nurses patrol the halls, sniffing out infection before an outbreak begins. This isn't science fiction anymore. It's the new frontier of medical detection, where fur meets science and compassion meets chemistry. Because in the war against invisible enemies, our oldest friend might just be the world's most advanced diagnostic tool. So when the next pandemic comes, remember this: the first line of defense might not wear a mask, but a collar. They say every superhero hides in plain sight. But what if the greatest one walks on 4 legs, wags its tail, and saves lives with every breath it takes? You've seen dogs sniff for food, for friends, even for fun. But what's really happening inside that nose is nothing short of a biological miracle. This isn't just a nose. It's a living laboratory, a hypersensitive chemical radar designed by evolution to detect the invisible. Inside a human nose, there are about 5 million scent receptors. Impressive, until you compare it to a dog's. Over 300 million receptors, each wired to decode a different molecular story. Where we smell something, a dog smells everything. Every layer, every source, every shift in chemistry. A single sniff from a dog can separate 1 trillion different odors. It can tell where you've been, what you've eaten, how you feel, and whether your cells are hiding a disease. Here's how this superpower works. When a dog inhales, air splits into 2 paths, one for breathing, one for smelling. Each molecule lingers inside a maze of scent receptors, binding like a key to a lock. triggering signals that race to the brain's olfactory bulb. And here's the twist. The part of a dog's brain devoted to analyzing scent is 40 times larger than ours, relative to size. In that moment, the dog isn't just smelling, it's seeing a vivid chemical map of the world. Where you see a person, it sees emotion, hormones, illness, and fear, painted in scent. That's why trained dogs can detect cancer, sense seizures before they happen, or warn a diabetic before their sugar crashes. They don't see symptoms, they smell chemistry and act on it before any machine can. Humans have built scanners, sensors, and AI, but we're still chasing what nature perfected millions of years ago. The canine nose doesn't just detect molecules, it interprets them, it feels them, it understands what they mean. Imagine a world where every hospital has a team of these biological marvels. Dogs diagnosing disease faster than blood tests, smelling infections before they spread. It's not fantasy, it's the future that's already breathing beside us. Because sometimes the most advanced technology in the world doesn't need a battery, it needs a heartbeat. And in that soft nose pressed against your hand lies a superpower, one that could one day save your life.